All right, we're going to go ahead and take care of swearing in our two council members before we start the meeting, and then after we start the meeting, then we get a chance to go ahead and take care of Anna. So Judge, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Commissioner, thank you for being here too. We appreciate it. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right, it's a true honor to be here and join this incumbent in, and so we'll go from there. Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
Richard Hughes,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of
of
Alderman District 2 for the City of Lytle
Alderman District 2 for the City of Lytle
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
and will to the best of my ability to preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution and laws
and defend the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get Judge. We'll go ahead.
Yes.
All right.
Ready?
Are we ready? Here we go.
Okay. I state your name.
I, David Emery,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of
Alderman District 3 for the City of Lytle
Alderman District 3 for the City of Lytle
of the State of
of
Texas,
the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
and to the best of my ability preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution and laws
and defend the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right. There we go. All right. So Judge, you can go ahead and come on up. Come on up.
I should have got a haircut.
Which one?
Hey, you know what? You know what? You should carry a comb.
Here, let me get on the outside. Y'all get in the middle. Let me get on the outside. This will be better. There we are.
All right. There we go. And here we go. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, except for one thing. You know how it goes with me. There we go. Everybody, 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. You all good, Austin? Good. All right. Here we go. It shows to be 6:30 right now. So let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. And we'll go ahead and start. Paula, if you can go ahead and take care of roll call, please.
District 2 Alderman Richard Hughes.
Here.
District 3 Alderman David Emery.
Here.
District 4 Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Here.
And District 5 Alderman Matthew Martinez.
Here. Okay. Thank you so much, Paula. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you can please rise for our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into item number 4, council, and this is a consideration and possible action concerning the appointment of Ana Carrillo to fulfill the position of Alderwoman District Number 1. Yes, please.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the appointment of Ana Carrillo to full-time position, Alderman District Woman 1.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Richard, thank you for the second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas? All right, thank you so much. Council, appreciate that, and we will go ahead and move on to the oath of office and the swearing in for Alderwoman District Number 1. Anna, come on up, Judge. And thank you.
Again, it's a true honor to be here today, and it's a congratulations on winning your race, or getting appointed, I guess it would be. And you may regret that later, but seriously, it's a true honor to people with public service. So if we're ready, we'll get this started. Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Ana Carrillo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of
the office of
Alderman District 1 for the City of Lytle
Alderman District 1, City of Lytle,
of the State of
of
Texas,
the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Good
All
job.
right.
Here's pen. Sorry.
Okay, Anna.
This one?
You will, let the judge sign real quick.
There we go. Keep that one for you. Take care of that. We'll take care of that. All right, and we'll take care of the rest of the stuff with Paola.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and invite all those that are here to be here with Anna and Commissioner. If you can come on up, come on up. Here we go. Come on up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You better get right in here with her. You got to.
How are you?
Come on, y'all.
Yes, after they, we'll do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, got everybody? Okay, nice smiles. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and stand by. Oop.
Come on,
Get in
Emma.
there.
Come on, Eva.
Get in there.
Come on, Eva.
We're gonna do them again. Here we go. Sad. That's perfect. All right, here you go. And 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Stand by right there. You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay,
All right,
one
get
more.
your-
Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah, it's official.
And 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay, before, one more thing, real quick, because I want both the commissioner and the judge to hear this. So Anna said, I need to help the city. She came forward, she wanted help. But there's another story that goes along with that. Okay? Her brother Frankie wanted to be part of the council. Unfortunately, he's passed away. So in his honor, he's actually,
Oh,
yep, and his spouse right here. Thank you too. I mean, so this is a big family thing, Judge. Is their commitment to our community. Without Laura served also before in the council, so it's a great honor for us to be able to have her join us, and especially for you to be able to do this for us. Thank you, Judge.
So one of the things that I learned in my very first commissioner conference in 1986, they told me that the people put you in there for a reason. They select you for a reason. That do a good job and have fun. Enjoy what you do. So have fun doing it, and just remember you're here for the people.
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
All right,
sir.
good luck to y'all.
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, stay in touch.
Thank you.
Call me.
Our next part of
Come
it.
on, buy you lunch.
Yes. Again.
Okay, let me grab my handbag.
Looks like good. He's right around.
Love you guys. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Well,
No, they just read it.
they just read it.
They just stand and read it, right?
yeah, it's just like the other, I mean, oh, so you still have to administer that? Yes, yes, the same as the other.
Oh, we can do them all together.
Yeah.
We can do them all together.
Yeah, they can do all.
Okay.
All three of you.
All three of you stand. We're gonna take care
You can do the
of one
last
more
one.
administrative thing real quick, just to make sure we take care of it. This is David, okay. So you have one in front of you, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do it just like we did. I'll say, I state your name, and each one of you is gonna say a different one, and then just repeat after me, okay? All right, if you can please stand, raise your right hand, and say, I state your name,
I,
David
David,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
Or affirm
that I have not directly
I have not directly
or indirectly
or indirectly
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
paid, offered, promised to pay,
contribute or promised
contribute or promised
to contribute any money
to contribute any money
or thing of value
or
thing of value
or promise any public office
or promised any public office
or employment for the giving
or employment for the giving
or withholding of a vote
or withholding of a vote
at an election
at an
at the
election
election
at which I was elected
at which I was elected
or as a reward
or as a reward
to secure my appointment
to secure my appointment
or confirmation,
or confirmation,
whichever the case
Whichever
to
the
the
case.
case
may be,
may be,
so help me God.
so help me God.
All right, there you go. Now that one, I think Paula needs you to sign.
Just sign that one.
Is that
yeah.
correct?
Yes.
All right. You need these back.
Black
All right.
Either way, or Richard's got to do that if you'd rather.
No, black's fine.
Make it official now.
So, Duncan?
Yes.
We need it.
Today is the 12th, yes, sir. And that's yours.
Thank you.
And we'll talk later about this. Don't
Okay.
worry about it.
Okay.
Sounds good. Paula will get with you. Okay?
Thank you. And we're done.
Good? Good, good,
Good to
good?
go.
All right. All good. Side of the leaning now, we got more folks, so it'll be good. All right, council, thank you so much, appreciate that. Austin, thank you for your help with that. Paula, all the work, taking care of that, appreciate that. So let's go ahead and move on, council. We're gonna go ahead and move on to item number 6, and this is citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the city council on any issue or any item on the agenda in compliance with LGC section 551.007. City council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may any action be taken at any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion JC 0169. If you're here for something on the agenda, we will have an opportunity, but if it's anything else, public comments, this is a time for you to go ahead and bring forward.
No one signed up.
Nobody sign in? I'll still go ahead and ask. Going once, going twice. Okay. Paula, if you can actually go ahead and show an item number 6, no comments in the public. Or the public's, the citizens to be heard, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to item number 7. This is a presentation of service award for Danny Robinson. Here we go, Richie.
Yes, sir. Let me get this over here.
Randy, can you take it?
And I ordered a plaque, but it didn't get here, so we're gonna have to do a temporary, but that's okay. Because they're giving, we got a temporary something here to get through. So, January 2000, Danny Robinson walked in an office over here. I was a relatively new police chief. He had a full-time career. He says, I'm interested in going to the police academy, being a reserve officer somewhere. And I said, hey, okay. Everything looked like it was going to check out well. He was 43 years old, and I remember thinking, I was just turned 30, I'm thinking, my gosh, this guy's old, but okay. Now 43 is pretty young. But anyway, so Danny's been with us 19 years as a reserve officer while he finished out a career in a high-level management, transportation type business that I care to not know much about. But anyway, he retired from there and came on full-time 6 years ago. He's been here 25 years. He actually got commissioned here May 1st of 2000. So he's been here 25 years altogether, 19 reserve, 6 full-time. And he's been here at almost every hayride that has been in the history, almost every 4th of July. So he's been through all that. And he's no sign of slowing down. So he's not married to the city, but he did the next best thing he does. He is married to somebody that works for the city. So that's that's about the best. But so anyway, again, I just got something here for Danny, and I do have a plaque, but it didn't make it in. But anyway, can't say enough about people can come and go and fake it for a couple years. Anybody can do that, but if someone's been here that time, you know the good and the bad. I think that's more important. Is Danny and I argue a lot because we get older, we're easier to irritate. But at the end of the day, we get a lot of stuff done, and he gets a lot of the projects I have. He has the capacity to dive into stuff and get stuff fixed, and where I go on phone calls and emails and get lost, he can stay focused. So it's been a wonderful 25 years, and we're going to continue it. So,
Let's
thank
take
you
a
so
quick
much.
photo, council. Let's go ahead and stand, and we'll stand right behind. There we go. Make sure we can see. And stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Let me sneak. You guys stay right there.
His
It's
wife
not
will
for
be
a
here.
selfie.
She's
Here we
away
go.
training, so.
Come on over. Get in there.
I had some other guys that got tied up on something, so they're.
Get everybody in there. All right. Make sure I can see everybody. Oh, somebody's phone. Okay. Make sure I can see you. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Good. Right there. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Any comments, Danny?
No, it's been nice to be here 25 years. I guess the biggest change in the last 25 years has been watching Richie's waist expand and reduce back.
Been a lot of expansions and
We're good.
reductions.
We're good. There you go. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks. Appreciate it, Danny. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Lots of photos today. That's awesome.
Thank y'all.
Great opportunity. Thank you, Danny, for everything. Appreciate it. Thank you for your help with that event for the Edwardsographer too. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 8. And let's go ahead and take care of proclamations. And the first one is Police Week. Paula? Or who's got it?
What? You're supposed to do it. Well, we can read it if you want.
Yes, please read it, but who are we gonna have? We're gonna get the police chief?
Yeah.
Move this out of the way.
I'll let you read it, sir.
You want me to read it? I can read it.
You can read both of them.
Hey, hold on. We gotta do the police. Hey. Hey, Danny, everybody.
They're both.
I thought they photoshopped the previous picture.
I thought they stopped right there and now they're gone.
I don't let them sit around much. You can't get no work done taking pictures.
Are they coming back?
Yeah.
There we go. Come on over.
Where's Danny? All right, let's do what we got.
Come on over. We'll get you up here in front. And do this. Okay, who's gonna read it? All right. Here we go.
Right. Whereas police officers of the Lytle Police Department stand watch over our citizens, selflessly risking their lives to protect individuals, families, neighborhoods, and property against crime. And whereas it is important that all citizens recognize the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of local law enforcement agencies. And whereas Thursday, May 15th, 2025 is observed nationally as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice and service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And whereas the Lytle Police Department, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities render dedicated service to the community. Mayor.
Now therefore I, Ruben Gonzalez, Mayor of the City of Lytle, hereby proclaim the week of May 11th through the 17th as Police Week in the City of Lytle. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. There's one thing too that I think we need, well, it does talk about who you protect, but I think with Police Week, we also want to add your families. Thank you to your families too, because the commitment that goes along with being able to do your duties. So I think, take a photo. Okay, we'll go ahead and do this, and council. There we go. Put it in here. Do it this way.
I'm short.
Okay, I know.
That'll be a problem.
That's gonna be a problem.
You have to get you a little
Are we
box
good?
over there like those newspaper people have.
You got it?
Not newspaper,
Okay.
TV.
You got it? You good? All right.
Thank you, sir.
Any comments, Richie?
No, thank y'all. We appreciate everything, and, you know, it's all part of a bunch of spokes in a wheel to keep us all rolling around here.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
it's
but
great.
we appreciate it, Richie.
We're just one little segment, and we, you know.
And let me make sure we take a photo of this.
We will.
So we get.
I can pick it up in the morning if you need.
Thank you.
All right, and we got one more,
Yes.
right? All right, here we go. Pete, come on up, come on up.
I appreciate it.
We got one, another proclamation that we need to go ahead and take care of.
All right. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of people of the city of Lytle, Texas. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Lytle to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association / Canadian Public Works Association.
Therefore, I, Ruben Gonzalez, Mayor City Lytle, hereby proclaim the week of 18 to 24, 2025 as National Public Works Week. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's go ahead and then council take a quick photo with our director. All right. I think Anna doesn't have a problem with this one. Here we go. We'll go ahead and take it. Here we go. Got it? All right. Any comments?
No.
None at all?
I love it.
All right. And she's gonna take a photo and then we'll get to you. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anna said, boy, this is easy. I just get up and I just take photos. That's it.
Never had to be a picture taken in my life.
Welcome to the city of Lytle.
You get a little bit of everything. All right, okay, council, let's go ahead and start taking care of some additional business. Item number 9 is consent of the agenda. A, consider approval of the minutes.
Mayor, I'd like to start by making a motion to approve the meeting minutes for April 28, 2025 with amendments.
Okay. Got a motion on the floor? Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Got a second. Any discussion?
So on the roll call, it indicates that David Emery was absent.
Yes,
David
I
Emery
think
was
that
present. Okay. And then item 9G, the motion was made by me and it was seconded by Matthew Martinez. And it was indicated on the form to be David Emery.
I'll choose.
The third item is just logistical. You have the break information and my leaving before item 11. However, in item 11, I was part of the motion, so if you could move that block.
Keep going.
Yeah, that was the results of the executive meeting on item 11. So if you could just move that block down. That's all I have for that one. Mayor.
Understand?
Anything else? No? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas, thank you so much, appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to B, consider approval of the payment of the bills.
Mayor, I'd like to start by making a motion to approve the payment of the bills as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
I'll second
You got a second? Thank you, man, appreciate that. Okay, discussion.
The elite pumps, the bearing and rotor, or bearings on rotor, is that for a replacement cost, or is that the actual bearings and the rotor replaced?
Yeah,
Is that a repair cost or replacement?
that was a replacement cost out at the sewer.
Okay, yeah, because that's quite an expensive item.
it was a big item.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Any other item? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All All ayes, motion carries forward. Thank you so much, appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Council, item number 10 is the open session. Take action on items discussed. And we'll go into A, discussion and update concerning the closeout of AT&T accounts for the city of Lytle by Frontera Concepts. And we got John. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'll start with a recap as short as I can give it, but many months ago, I'm going to say many months back in August, in July, the city moved to, or planned to move to Rise Communications for internet connection in all city offices. AT&T was the provider of choice up until that point, and we went through the migration and began disconnect requests as early as August and September. The first official one was September. And since then, we've been deliberating with AT&T, going back and forth about official connection requests or official disconnect requests. We've talked to probably no less than 3 AT&T representatives. Our first attempt was speaking to the third-party provider, NetSpark, who was the initial and primary point of contact for AT&T. They were unresponsive to our initial request to disconnect services at all of the locations. That lasted for about 30 days. After 30 days, we took on that task ourselves directly, Frontera. That is, we became the first party to start to deal with AT&T directly and submit disconnects directly. And it's been a battle since then. So up to this point, AT&T is arguing that disconnects were not submitted correctly. Although we've got email and correspondence proof where the AT&T rep in charge of the city's account specifically asked us for a detailed list of all of the accounts that had to be disconnected at every location, and we submitted that request to him within a 24-hour period. It's basically denoting on one of your bills exactly which circuits and which accounts had to be disconnected, and we've shown them that proof. And we have other substantiating emails showing what other dates and times we requested disconnects of specific circuits. But to this point, AT&T is not forthcoming with whatever credits are owed to the city for those disconnect requests. So at this point, we've already gone to our direct, or your direct account manager. We've gone to the direct account manager's boss. We've threatened an executive complaint to go above both of them. And we've involved the city manager, we've involved the mayor. They've been involved initially on the phone calls to AT&T, and most recently, the mayor's been involved with direct communications to the senior manager for AT&T, who would give us these credits and would allow the proper disconnects to be credited. But we've made no progress up to this point, other than we've submitted every piece of documentation we could possibly submit to them. There is no equipment that belongs to AT&T that's still on your premises. We have proof of equipment that's been delivered. We have UPS labels. We have all the documentation showing they've received their equipment, and there's no reason for them to continue to build the city. But AT&T is the animal that AT&T is. They're a giant entity, and at this point just unwilling to give back the credits. But we know the strain that puts on the city. Up to this point, probably beginning in January, Frontera hasn't billed any hours for the time we've spent on this. I think we've got probably about 100 hours of dedicated time trying to deliberate with AT&T. I've had no less than 4 of my staff communicate directly with AT&T and repeatedly submit the same disconnect requests through every avenue that they've given us. Again, with no success, but we'll continue to do that for the city. I don't anticipate you're going to have any billable time from Frontera, but the issue is with AT&T. So up to this point, aside from whatever executive action we can take with AT&T, and that is submitting an executive level complaint, we don't have any other recourse beyond that. Now, I anticipate they've pushed us time and time again. We requested a meeting with the mayor a week ago, 2 weeks ago. They have not responded to us for that meeting. We requested or have on the schedule to request another one again tomorrow, and we'll see where that gets us. But that's our next stop, is the executive complaint with Grant, I'm sorry, from AT&T.
Council, we just wanted to make sure that you all are informed of where we're at, since this has been an open item. We kind of went through this before when we migrated to the new. This is nothing new, but this one is actually just taking a turn because of the additional layers that we're going through. So we just wanted to make sure that you're aware. In the future, if we need to take any kind of action, of course, we'll go through our legal for advice. We'll go ahead and take care of what we need to do, but we just wanted to bring you up to speed in case. I know every month we see stuff that pops up on AT&T charges, on bills and stuff like that, and we want you to know, and we asked John to bring you up to speed of where we're at right now. Okay, so no action at this point from any of us. It's more just for informational purposes.
And just so everyone knows that initial request was in September. The request from your primary AT&T agent was October 23rd, and we responded to him by October 24th with every relevant circuit ID and account number that needed to be disconnected. They have continued to bill up through February, and there's just no reason for that, and we continue to provide documentation, but again, it's the same documentation.
Well, let us know, John, whatever we need to do next and stuff, and hopefully we'll hear something from them pretty soon.
Hopefully you and I are on the call this week.
Yep. So hopefully we'll get some sort of understanding. If not, we'll do the appropriate. But just an update for the council. Okay.
So I'd just like to reach out on my behalf and possibly on behalf of the council that you're doing this as our IT representative and realize that you're not under any obligation to do so. And that's greatly appreciated. Thank you for being up there and taking care of and helping the city out. Because I know a lot of this stuff is technical and you have probably the resources to be able to get this information for us. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for pointing that out. This is an administrative task.
Yes, sir.
That is, we're glad to take on because we know the kind of beast that AT&T is to give.
Yes.
So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and move on to B. Did it come back on?
I restarted, so we'll see. We'll see how long. This is the third time now.
Yeah.
John looked at it too.
John's gonna help us out, figure out what's gremlin.
It is recording, it is streaming audio.
Okay.
So even if the video freezes, it is streaming.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to B, and this is a consideration and possible action concerning ordinance number 2511, an ordinance of the City of Lytle, Texas, amending Article 2, Food and Food Establishments of Chapter 10, Business and Business Regulations by deleting Article 2 in its entirety and adopting a new Article 2, Food and Food Establishments in its place, providing for incorporation of preamble, providing a penalty of the amount not to exceed $2,000 for each day of the violation of any provision hereof, and providing a repealer clause, a severity clause, and an effective date. Zach?
All right, so Mayor and Council, we've had a lot of requests coming forward for various food trucks throughout town, and I think it's been brought up before in front of council about adopting some regulations, and so we're running into some issues, and so we decided to kind of throw together some basic regulations, really to tackle just some of the issues, really around sanitation that we're seeing, and wanted to make sure that we're being appropriate as we're seeing more of these food trucks pop up. And so I just want to highlight a couple items that were put into the ordinance. The first section under the general, which covers, starts on page 1 of the ordinance and moves into really up to page 4. Those, nothing changed really within the language of what's already in our ordinances under food and food establishments. Really the only addition to that is if you notice on page 3, in the first paragraph that you see up at the top of page 3 there, where in that paragraph, kind of middle of that paragraph, it said all permits shall be renewed annually except for mobile food units, which must be renewed on a 6-month basis. So now we're just tying that, that for mobile food specifically would be on a 6-month time frame. And then just making sure that it's clear that the permit fee and everything that would be appropriated there. Moving on to page 4 and really through 6 or 7, I'm sorry, which is really the mobile food unit. So this is a whole brand new section that was added. So everything in here is not currently in our ordinance under food and food establishments. So obviously just defines a couple general terms. The permit section, under section 10-31, just references that, hey, we already referenced permits earlier in the language, so obviously refer back to that. And then we have some distance and location requirements, and then the mobile food vendor requirements. Most of these are pretty basic things that already, Richie is looking at from the fire marshal standpoint and all that kind of stuff. So nothing really big there, and just some basic things that we're seeing in some tentative language that was actually brought up before by our attorneys. So this all is kind of in line with that. And then really 1034, which is the sanitation requirements, is where we get really the heart of, again, why we even are really here tonight talking about this. So what we went ahead and did was basically said that we're really trying to make sure that mobile food vendors move in and out on private properties. However, we understand that there may be opportunities, and we do have current businesses that actually have mobile food units that do stay permanently on the property. So when we have those situations, or we have somebody coming in that would like to be in that situation, we want to make sure that they have proper sanitation on site. And so what we built in is that if you're going to be permanently on there, you have to have a permanent set of bathrooms built on site to accommodate. The only other way that we would require bathrooms is if you're going to put up some temporary, we have one up here that puts out at CVS, and sometimes they'll put some tables and chairs, which encourages people to linger and stay around. And when that's the case, we want to make sure, again, that the sanitation aspect is taken care of. So, hey, in that case, bring some portable toilets in, or if the business where they're located at is open and remains open during the whole time that they are selling, then that would qualify where they could use the bathroom inside that business. And so that's really where the big portion of us trying to tackle these regulations comes from. So, and then Division 3, food handlers, literally nothing changed. That's exactly from our ordinance as it exists today. So.
And council, we reached out, just so you know, those talking to other communities and some of the things that they're doing, some of the comments that they provided. At the same time, we want to give the opportunities for those that do actually want to stay a little bit more permanently, but at the same time be able to be a balance taking care of the permanent restaurants, right? So the health and sanitation is a big one. We reached out to the county and we asked some questions that go along with that, just to make sure that we kind of align ourselves. But that's the big thing, is if somebody's going to be permanent somewhere, you got to have the permanent restrooms to be able to do that. If they're just pulling in and they're selling, they don't have tables, it's basically a carry out, then that's stuff that we don't need to worry about for sanitation purposes, because it's just a pick up and go. It goes along with that. The reason also for the 6 months on there is because it just gives us a better opportunity in case somebody keeps violating some of the rules on there. We just have, it's a quicker way for us to just go ahead and not renew, and it gives us a chance to really try to iron it out or try to figure out a way if they do want to continue to operate in Lytle to be able to do that. In general, we haven't had any major problems with this, just a few little snapshots in here. But I think based on with legal's advice and stuff, this might be something that we probably need to start doing, just because we're starting to see a lot more rotation of folks that are coming in, and we want to make sure that we take care of the well-being and the sanitation that goes along with that for our folks that actually do that.
And then the only other direction, obviously, if we're comfortable with this ordinance, obviously I encourage and recommend approval of it. But the only other thing is we will need to bring back our master fee schedule to establish that permit fee. And just to kind of give you an idea of some of the areas around us, $20, $30. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, especially if we are on a 6-month basis. We don't want to nickel and dime them. So I would need some guidance as far as that's concerned. So next meeting we can bring that forward for y'all. So
That wasn't in the previous document?
it was not. So interestingly, we had this permit information generally as it exists in this ordinance, but we weren't actually doing anything with it. Fire marshal was permitting from a fire standpoint, but Yeah, it just said reference, the fee, but we never actually adopted a fee. So it's one of those cleanup things too, in a way.
There's a few items that I could not identify or could not find in the document.
Okay.
If you can help me with this.
Sure.
So, excuse me, the permits, are they required to be posted? And if so, is there posting requirements in the document?
Yeah, so I do know that if most of them are not placed on their own property, so we do require the posting of their approval of that property owner, notarized letter. I would say normally you would require, I don't know if we put that in here though.
Because in typical health department
Yeah,
postings, those are posted at the location,
Yeah,
so.
it's in here.
It
It's,
is in there.
It
Section,
is in
Yeah, they usually put it in the window.
section 1022, the last sentence.
Yeah, I saw 1022 where?
The very last sentence of the first paragraph.
a valid permit shall be posted in or on every food establishment regulated by this article.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the second item would be exemptions.
Yes.
The feeling I got from the exemptions was that obviously exemptions were free.
Yeah.
There was no permit charge, but a permit still should be given,
Yes.
so without charge.
Yeah, and that's language that's currently in the ordinance. That wasn't changed, but yes, that they would still require a permit. We just wouldn't be charging for them.
Okay.
I think was the idea
So
behind
it's,
it.
yeah, the way this is written is they don't have to permit at all. So if you had but that's only gonna be, I can't even think of a time when a nonprofit's gonna be operating a food truck. Because if a church hires a food truck, they're not the ones, that's not a nonprofit.
If it's on the church property.
But it's still a private, it's a company.
Right,
It's
so
still private
if
property.
it's through the city, what I'm getting at is if we're not issuing a permit
Yeah.
and they're not required to purchase one or be charged for one, how do we know that, well, that would be my third question, is the exempt food trucks still have to go through all the checks and balances, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that permit, it should be issued and it should be posted, even if it is free. Otherwise, somebody could just pull up and say, well, I'm exempt, and not really be so, and then be there without a permit.
Yeah.
Maybe we should relook at what exemptions or what we're talking about with an
Well,
exemption.
yeah, there's two different things. One, if you just wanna waive the fee for a nonprofit to apply
Right.
for a permit, that's one thing.
Yeah.
If you're trying to allow a nonprofit food truck to operate without having to go through all this and just.
And that should
just
not
even
be
state-
the intent of this
I
document,
agree.
they
and
should have to go
I
through.
don't think it was intended, but it does read that way. So
Yeah,
that's what we
Maybe
need
just
to be
change the
fixed.
wording so it's
Yeah.
more with the.
Exempt from the fee of
The
the
fee,
permitting, but
yeah,
not
the
the
exemption
permitting
is just a
itself.
fee.
Yeah.
We still have to follow the procedures.
Correct.
Yeah, good point.
I'm sorry, I haven't looked at this, but what about festivals, and does it cover like those, would those still fall under, are there any exemptions for?
So-
Night parade and stuff?
So like a festival, they're gonna still go through the process?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They still go through the process. We want to make sure. Now, the uniqueness about it is, we usually have the facilities. If it was at the park or somewhere, that's pretty much taken care of. If they're doing it like on Main Street, because we're doing something on Main Street, then I would say that they would go through the process also with the location, depending on where they're at.
So then that goes back to what Austin was saying, if the church is putting on a festival, do they have to come through our regulations and get permits from the
Yes.
city?
Yes, they would.
Yes.
Okay, can we put that in there where it includes festivals and so
Sure.
forth?
And if y'all did want to, when the fee issue comes back, if you wanna say, because the $20 or $30 or whatever that covers a 6-month fee, if you wanted to adopt a separate fee or waive the fee, if it's like less than a week you're gonna be here, somebody that comes in just for an event and is gone, you can certainly do that, where they don't need a 6-month permit, right, it's a one-off event. But that could be done in the fee schedule where it can have a note that says.
Just put a note to
that this is
capture
it.
that.
If you're gonna close out this permit and not use it.
Do we
Period.
want to include any language in it, because we do a fire inspection to make sure that the fire code.
It is.
It's in there.
It's in there.
It's in there.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that will still
And
be
it-
a
and it
separate
allows-
fee, or
Separate.
is that included in the?
It would be separate of that.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter, but I'm just trying to get an idea. If you have a festival and there's 8 or 10 trucks, we're gonna be, kind of busy coordinating that, but I just wanna make sure
Yes, sir.
that was covered. Okay.
So do we go ahead and bring this back, or do we just have the city administrator make these corrections?
I think right now it's for us to go ahead and accept the ordinance right now, and we'll bring back the actual fee of the next one,
If the only change you want is to
the exemption.
The exemption.
clarify that,
Yeah, just
that it only
clarification.
applies to the fee and not, we can make that change.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to necessarily come out.
Yeah.
And the one other thing that I was gonna mention, because this ordinance imposes a penalty, it does need to be published. And that, I was gonna clean up that last sentence. It says, they technically won't take effect until it's been published.
Correct.
in the
Yeah,
paper
yeah.
For a couple days.
Yes.
So I'd like to make a motion as is to approve ordinance 25-11, an ordinance of the city council of the city of Lytle, Texas, amending Article 2, food and food establishments of Chapter 10, business and business regulations by deleting Article 2 in its entirety and adopting a new Article 2, food and food establishment in its place, providing for the incorporation of preamble, providing a penalty of the amount not to exceed $2,000 for each day of violation and of any provision herefor, and providing a repeater clause, a civility clause, and an effective date today of May 12, 2025.
April.
I'm real good at that, aren't I?
No, you're good.
Yeah. So I have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
Got a second? Okay. Further discussion? Anything, comments or anything? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. All right, so you guys will just do those little tweaks that we need to do, take care of that, and then bring back the fee schedule for next week. Awesome.
Who was the second? Who seconded?
I did.
Think you did.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to C, consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 25XX, a resolution of City Council of City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of an agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and Dunaway Associates LLC for on-call engineering services, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement, and providing an effective date. Zach?
All right, so Mayor and Council, back in February, y'all actually, council approved a master service agreement with Dunaway Associates for on-call engineering services. This was one of the 4 companies that was selected. The language that was approved was obviously had been amended by our city attorney. And so when we went back to Dunaway, they kind of kicked back on a couple issues. And so Austin had asked me to place this back on for y'all's consideration. And I'll let Austin probably kind of go through some of the changes or things that are not jiving on both sides. So
Yeah, so most of what we, the version we all approved was, if we're looking at the spectrum, it was all the way on the end of most favorable to the city. There's nothing, the issue I had was some of the indemnification language that was in there. And what, they put some of it back in, but not the parts I objected to. So what's left in there, it does have some indemnification for third-party claims, but only if the city is at fault for those, for whatever gives rise to those claims. So the city still won't be in the middle of a fight between the third party and the engineer.
So this was the one that they had, was it the insurance they wanted or something? If they had, whoever they hired messed up, we would be responsible?
No, we left in the part where there is a limitation on damages from the engineer are limited to like triple the
Correct.
services they provide, which is in those other engineering contracts as well. So yeah, this is good to go as is.
So just like Zach had said in the past, we're We're building a pool of engineers so we can have some flexibility, and we're trying to include them as part of this pool. So that's the reason why we wanted to go ahead and work out the details and everything else that goes along with that.
Well, I read through the changes, just help me understand here, like on page 3 of 16, it's in red, that's the part that was in contention, is that right?
Yeah, so anything, basically they, I think what was struck was what they are.
Stricken.
They want it stricken, and what, obviously right before that is what they're wanting it to indicate.
Then it's
And I
in
think
blue.
the problem is that Austin is like, hey, some of this indemnification language, really it doesn't apply to us and things like that, but they're
So
continuing to keep
It's in blue then, and it's lined out, so I'm confused.
The blue was what the city submitted.
Correct.
As our bargaining agreement.
Correct.
And then they turned around and put it in red.
Yes.
Saying they wanted it back.
Yes.
So the question I have is, if they are refusing to take the liability, does that put more liability on the city?
Can I see your packet? I don't,
It's not in red though, is the problem.
And is this just,
I've looked at this thing enough.
and is this just between third party and the city, or?
Yes, so that was their point. Previously, it had other indemnification language in it that was broader. What's left in there now is if a third party, so, say they build a road and there's an accident, right? The injured third party that wants to sue, the city is agreeing, if it's the city's fault that accident occurred, right?
Right.
The city's saying, we will indemnify engineer, and we'll defend you basically in a lawsuit. And you won't be liable for that because it's not your fault. So that doesn't violate, there's a general prohibition on indemnification, but because it's attributing it to the city's own, it's limited to the city's own mistake or something.
However, this does not eliminate them from anything that they may do incorrectly or cause.
No, they're still.
Right, this is just third
Yes.
party.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because it
It's-
kind of insinuates that, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you feel
Leave it
that,
up to legalese to.
and you feel that the way we have it here is good, Austin?
So this is what I explained to them. To the extent that when cities say we can't indemnify, we're saying that because it's out of the Constitution that we can't commit to paying a debt that we don't know the amount of, because y'all operate on this annual budget cycle of bringing in taxes and spending the money. So we can't say we're going to sign up for some unknown debt to some third party down the line. So most of the time we will just strike all indemnification language. But if you drill down into the law, there's some nuance to it, and they're wanting to leave this in. If it ever comes up, it's a very particular circumstances, but if it ever came up, the first thing the city's gonna do is look and see, is this actually an enforceable clause? If it violates the Constitution, it wouldn't be enforceable, we would get it thrown out anyway. So, in other words, to the extent that they put anything in here that isn't valid for cities, that if we have a lawsuit over it, that would be what we would get it tossed out, basically. And when I looked at it more closely and went back and forth with their team, I don't think this violates it because it's such a limited circumstance. It's the city having to make a mistake and with no fault of the engineer. But a third party still like adding the engineer into a lawsuit, even though it's not their fault, and they're really not.
But this third party is between the city and the third party, not, the consultant did not assign.
This is there to protect the engineer to
Right,
say,
and
if
the
the third party
engineering
just sues us
consultants
both.
did not assign this third party.
Well, but if a third party sues the city and the engineer,
Right.
it's the same, and it's the city's fault, solely the city's fault that we're even in a lawsuit, that the city will defend the engineer. And that is one of the exceptions to that constitutionality rule.
And you see this in other cities, they have this also?
We generally push back on it, but it's not the reason we bring it back to y'all is it's up to you whether you want to agree to it or not. And it's legal, it's not violating
It's kind of scary.
the Constitution, but I don't believe it was included in the other engineering contracts. And
It was not.
the others agreed to strip all indemnity language out. And this firm wanted to leave a very limited bit in.
So, Zach, is there something that they specialize in?
Why are we like with them?
So, I mean, we had awarded the 4, and like I said, the other 3, we've we've got all the agreements in place. Obviously, it'd be nice to have them, but it's not necessary. What my plan was for them was to start working on some of our like city facility type stuff, like they kind of have a background in some more building type engineer, so like our community center and that kind of stuff that we need the foundation done. But any engineer really that we've selected could do that. So if we want to push back on this and say we're not going to, and they decide to walk away from the award, then I don't think it's going to hurt us.
And 2 other points on that: if it's a huge project, you are probably going to bid this anyways. So it's not to say that they could never come bid a project for y'all. They just wouldn't be in the stable of engineers that are like on call for smaller projects. And 2, if y'all reject this, the next step, I mean, obviously we're gonna let Dunaway know, and they'll have another chance to decide if they wanna, leave this language in, or if they're willing to take another look at removing some of it, or, have another round. This came back because they were firm on.
Make a motion, like if I want to make a motion to reject, I just make a motion to reject.
No action.
No action.
Yeah, no action.
You could, if you all want to table it and see, I mean, we can express to them that this was brought to y'all, you didn't approve it, so that signals.
I mean, I'm just saying, because if the other 3 took out that clause, right? And they're the ones pushing back, why would we still consider running with them or going with them if the other 3
That's
are
the
there?
choice, that's the choice y'all have. It's not bad if you want there.
So if we table it, means it comes back. If we just go ahead and say no action,
Yeah, and then we can communicate.
Either way, we're gonna communicate to them
Yeah.
that this was approved.
Yeah.
And which I told them there's a risk that, well, the conversation we're having now is exactly what I told them we were
but
gonna
if we table it, it still has to come back.
Correct.
That's
Yes,
what I'm
yes,
saying.
we'll come back
I would
with more.
prefer not to table it.
So it might be better just to say no action and let that,
If they do end up hearing this and saying, okay, we'll take another look at it, then we'll definitely bring it back to y'all anyways, because it would be a different version of the contract.
Alright.
Mayor, I make a motion that we take no action, resolution number 25XX, a resolution of the city.
Okay, got a motion on the table. Do I have a second? Got a second? Okay. Any discussion on that? All those in favor for no action?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. Okay. Zach, if you can go ahead and I'll send you guys go ahead and reach back to them.
We'll let them know.
I appreciate that. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to D, consideration and possible action concerning rescheduling a special council meeting scheduled for the 27th of May 2025.
All right, so Mayor and Council, with Memorial Day on Monday the 26th, we had already scheduled the council meeting for Tuesday the 27th of May for the next council meeting. However, there's a couple different conflicts, including our attorney on Tuesday as well as the mayor, and we do have some bigger items that I would prefer to have the mayor and a couple other people here. And so we are seeing maybe if we can move it to the Wednesday, the May 28th, if possible. We can also slightly move it up if we needed to, but just wanted to see what it looked like on y'all's end. So.
Mayor, I'd like to start off by making a motion to approve the rescheduling of the special council meeting from May the 27th, 2025 to May the 28th, 2025.
Okay, got a motion on the floor for us to look on the 28th of May, or to schedule for the 28th of May. Do I have a second?
No, sir.
Got a second. Okay, now discussion. Matt, you good?
No, I'm good. County Inspector.
Donna? Richard?
I'm sure, yeah.
Not sure yet.
Just put me in
Will be in there?
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all those in favor for us to go ahead and move to the 28th?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, all yeas. Zach, if you can go ahead and make that change and also that notification
Yep.
for that meeting, so we can send it out.
Will do.
That'd be great. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to E, discussion and update regarding audit conducted by Waste Management in the city of Lytle.
All right, so Mayor and Council, Mayor and I met recently with Waste Management on just some general performance issues and things we were noticing, and really the longer time periods it seems to be taking to pick up trash in the city, and so we met with them, communicated some stuff. At that time, it was brought up that they felt that there was a lot more carts, containers that were out than what should be out there. So this last, I guess not this past week, but the prior week, they completed what they called an audit of the carts. So the city provided them a list of what we had for our billing as far as how many carts each individual address or account should have. A truck followed behind the trash truck, and if they were seen to have too many, then they obviously took that cart away. As of Friday, when I was putting the packet together, we got word that there was about 40 containers throughout the city that were picked up by Waste Management. However, they did indicate that they had only completed basically north of Highway 132. And so, however, and they feel pretty strongly that there's not a huge issue, but south of 132 with the new residents and stuff out along 2790. However, they still plan to do that. They just won't give me a date, so we don't advertise it and people don't put out the trash can and stuff like that. So 40, we did have a few instances where staff had not reflected it appropriately on our side. We had some instances where a business owner had taken extra carts to their residents, so there was just kind of a mixture of things that, were occurring there. But I will say that based on the feedback that Waste Management gave us when the mayor and I were meeting, that even originally with 1,623 carts in the city, and based on the numbers that they provided as far as how many they try to get in an hour of time, we're really trying to push them to say we need a second truck down in the city of Lytle. So we're going to continue to drive that point home, but we did get a few people that, like I said, called and said, oh, I do want that cart, so they had to take the cart back out there, and they are paying for it now. But we just wanted to kind of give you an update to what happened, in case you were getting any calls or people saying, because we got a few here, obviously, why did they take my cart?
So, do they charge just by cart, or is it just a flat fee?
So there's the flat fee for the one, and then each additional cart's about $10 a cart. It's a little less than 10, but it's about 10. Most people have one or two. There are a few people that have three in town, but they were saying some of them had 4 or 5 that were out, and could be residents left and they went over and grabbed their cart and were using it. Who knows? So.
But these are official Waste Management trash cans.
Correct. Yes. And that was one thing that kind of blew the mayor and I's when we were talking to them, that they didn't really know what was out and about. I mean, it's their asset, and that kind of threw us for a loop a little bit, that they didn't really know what was out there. So again, we provided them what we had in our billing system, and that's what they based the carts off of.
And just, Council, just so you know, this is only dealing with residential.
Yes.
So this had nothing to do with the businesses or anything like that. Now, if they got it from a business, it's a whole different story, but what they were auditing was just the residential portion as they drove around, trying to figure out and see who had the carts and everything else. Zach, did they give you an indication if they mentioned there was 40 of them? Did they mention how many went back or?
They didn't. I asked,
portion?
but they did not respond by the time that we've had. Even today, I haven't seen a response yet.
Yeah, so we're waiting for the final, but I know that that folks are talking about it because they also have reached out to me. We wanted to make sure that you all knew the background behind it and the reason they're doing it. To us, just looking by the numbers, like Zach said, and when you calculate how much, we should have a second truck, period. If you notice, we've gotten a few times already where there's missed trash and, hey, street so-and-so, leave your trash out, or something happens. So to us, it's more about having the additional truck. But they wanted to do an audit first. And
Well, maybe they should just go back to the way it used to be. We used to have it Wednesday and
Yeah.
Saturday mornings, right?
we have 2 days.
And we talked about that. You know, the mayor was very adamant that, you know, we didn't have these issues when you were out here twice a week. You know, and all of a sudden we went down to once a week, and all of a sudden there's all these issues, and you're here less frequently. So they understand our frustration. I mean, we drove that point home, and we continue to email and correspond with them when issues are popping up. So I didn't hear any of this last time. So,
But I will say, so after that discussion, one thing that they did promise us was that we were gonna get a brand new truck. And last week, it was a brand new truck. That was because we've had instances where the truck breaks down or something happens. So last week, we did have a brand new truck. It was pretty neat.
that's good.
That was a really nice
These
design.
are alternative fuel vehicles, right?
No,
No?
not the one that comes to us.
Oh, okay, because I know there was a push on alternative.
Yes.
I know as a company, they're definitely pushing that. But you know, part of our issue was also, you know, it's a 40-minute drive back to the dump too. So I mean, they're factoring that in, you know, as well. And that's why it's
all
like,
that time
you know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of wasted, not necessarily wasted, but I
So,
mean, it is wasted.
Let
as
me,
far
let me
as-
tell you a story real quick, and I'm gonna be upset when they take my trash can.
Okay.
So, on our property, we have one trash can.
Yeah.
I have a second property behind us.
Yeah.
I'm paying full price for that second property.
Yeah.
Because I want brush pickup allowed on both sides.
Yeah.
So I use that back property trash can and I put it with my front property, which makes it look as though I have one additional
Correct.
trash cans. However,
Yes.
I am within,
Yes.
it's probably not doing it right because for my residents, there should only be one.
Sure.
And it would make it hard for their accounting, right?
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
and if they come by and say, well, he only is allowed one, although I'm paying for two full services,
Yeah.
and then they take my trash
But they
can.
should know that they're both being paid for because they have.
But they may not know.
They may not, the driver may not, but we did talk about there were gonna be instances where that was the case. And I will say that literally the next day I did see a truck come through after they did it with the carts starting to deliver some extra ones back out. So they will move fairly fast to get it back, is what they promised us. So if that happens.
If that, I know where it goes.
Zach,
Yeah.
Paul, is there any way that in the system, if we can actually put like a little note, since we're providing the data to them?
Yeah.
Maybe in the system for situations
Yeah.
like he has, we can put it on the main
Yeah.
address and say second container due to the property behind. So it's very easy, everybody can understand, maybe we can include that in the system.
I can do that.
So that's a good thing, they're using what we have. They're using what we actually have, but we just need to make sure that we identify it or we modify it the way it's gonna help out. But we just wanted you to be aware, we're gonna continue working on this, and our goal is to be able to get a second truck. That way it's more efficient, a lot quicker, and in case one breaks down, we already have one, a second one that's actually.
One last thing on the comment you made, when a resident leaves,
Yeah.
whose responsibility it is to pick up the trash can?
Yeah, so the waste management is now in control of the trash cans
Okay.
fully, so it is their responsibility.
Good, thank you.
And you had said that it takes 45 minutes to go to the dump.
Yeah, it's
Is
not-
it dump right here off of 1604?
No,
It's the one way on Houston Street?
the one out in
Yes.
Houston,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's the one on 410 all the way out there.
I thought maybe they went, okay.
Yes. No, you're correct.
The new trucks, they talked about putting a camera up on the top to watch what comes out of the trash can.
Yes.
They all have to.
Does
And
the
they-
new truck have that?
They do still have that. We've been kind of back and forth with how they use that though, but yes, they do have the ability to do
The older ones have been modified and the new ones automatically
Yeah,
come.
because they're looking for someone to dump an old TV when they're
Yeah,
shooting together.
yeah.
That's right.
Or, you know, if fire starts in it later on, they can track it back to what, you know.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
kind of stuff.
They dumped they missed one of our cans, they picked it up, but it didn't dump all the way, and Casey was out there, and she tracked the guy down. And he goes, I got it on camera, she goes, look at it, you're gonna see it. And he pulled it back, and sure enough, he goes, I'm sorry, he goes, I didn't check it. And so he came back around and got it, so it is a technology that works.
Yeah.
I didn't know they even had it.
Yep. All right, council, just an update, okay? Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're doing good. Let's go ahead and take care of the department reports. So the first one that we have is animal care and control. Linda?
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
All right.
Yes, 2 seconds, and I will, no, this one, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So for the animal control department report.
The big one here. The big, yeah, purple.
So for the month of April, okay, we had calls for service 14. We had 0 trap set, animals euthanized 0, animals surrendered 0, animals returned to owner, we had 1, animal intake, we had 4, and we also had 4 adoptions for the month of April. Animal count was 16 dogs and 9 cats as of April 30th. Currently, we have 14 dogs and 2 pending adoptions, so that'll take us back to 12. And for cats, we have 21 cats with 2 pending adoptions. And transfer to rescue on April 1st, we transferred 8 puppies to San Antonio Humane Society. And April 17th of 2025, 2 dogs to Bawa in New Jersey. And those are the pictures when they arrived to New Jersey to their families.
Awesome.
Yeah, so in that middle picture, those 2 dogs in the front, those are actually our dogs. They went to the little one went to the same family that was from our shelter. Okay, so Bella's Pantry. We had 64 pet owners receive food, 3 new owners, and the first person in line was at 1:48 a.m.
And we ran out of food.
It's early.
Never go count them early.
For the events of April 4th was Dragonfly Vet Clinic, and then April 26th, Bella's Pantry. And that was our Easter egg hunt. It was fun doing that. I thought maybe you guys might enjoy that.
Yeah, that's good.
Lily and myself and Austin. And then we had lots of spots donate. Oops, sorry. How do I go back?
The bottom one,
The top one?
the bottom one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of spots donated those treats, Easter dog treats for the Easter egg hunt.
They look good.
Yeah, they're cute.
Not for you, Richard.
And then, of course, when I submitted the report, our upcoming event was our Mother's Day weekend adoption event, so. Upcoming events, we have Dragonfly Vet Clinic for June 14th and Bella's Pantry on June 28th. And that's it. Any questions?
Well, let's see, I've heard the news, something about Harvard.
My youngest boy, he'll be 18 on June 1st. He was accepted to Harvard.
Congratulations.
Tomorrow he has an award ceremony for his scholarship. And then my oldest son, he's 26, he just graduated University of Incarnate for nursing. So he will be an RN for the University Trauma Center.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
I'm very proud.
Good
That's
way
Mother's Day.
For Mother's Day
Yeah.
celebration, congratulations.
Thank
Melinda.
you.
Thank you for your work.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
Thank you. All right, proud mama, that's for
Yes.
sure, that's for sure. All right, Cassandra, library, stuff always happening out there. And that doesn't include what text out there.
Oh, no, I know.
No.
Okay, we had 142 computer users, for the adult computers and 99 for the kids. We checked out 1,388 items, and then our e-reader stats have gone up a little bit. We had 16 users and 59 loans. And there was 22 new accounts, 10 account renewals, and April, May 28 other cards. We have story time on Wednesdays, and then we're actually gonna take away the library crochet group and change it over to that, craft with us where they can come every week, you know. We started it last week and we had about 5 people, so. And of course we had, the crochet group last month, and then we were gonna start the craft with us last week, so it was good. I had a library director meeting they came to Lytle instead of me going to their library, so they decided, we'll go to Lytle. And then we're still working on this. Virginia's been working on the team labels right now, so we're trying to get those finished. And we're still offering the curbside, and that's the library calendar. Just on a different color. And the little displays, the left one, I cannot remember. It was having to do with, I think it was child abuse prevention month, and then it was lawn care and gardening, and then left side was staff picks, and then poetry month. And that was it. Any questions?
Alright. Anything besides the crafts? Anything
We're
for the
gonna have-
summer?
The summer, I'm working with the guy from Fun House Bubbles or something like that, and that's supposed to be in July, but we're still working on the date. And he was gonna send a proposal over to see what he offered.
Awesome.
Hopefully I'll have a date next time. Any questions?
Anything? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. B. In honor of the proclamation of Public Works Week.
For the month of April, we had 12 meters installed. Those are the regular new houses out here in the subdivision. No main breaks. We replaced 26 meters, which was Twin Lakes.
Those
all
are
went to
from the
regular
old
meters.
to the new.
Yes.
Okay.
And no lines repaired, no angle stops, no meter washers, no service leaks. Customer leaks, we had 2, reread H2Os. Customer requests, we had 12, and the city 7. 1 main stoppage, the sewer. No customer, no trailer park this time. We had miscellaneous 35 work orders, 20 H2O, we had 10, new H2Os, we had 7, nothing on the cutoff list, no reconnects, miscellaneous work orders, we had 18. In coal mine, we dug that up today and it's getting ready for next week. We're gonna replace that once the contractors do their job on 132.
For the new line.
So
That is awesome.
that's ready, all ready to go, and we got one on Bruce Street, which is just a little small hole, pinhole on the
Is
main.
that the one on there?
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
The bottom. And
And there's a total of the work orders, the water usage, water pumps. And the stop signs are up on Magnolia and Benton, Esther.
Again,
I won't get no more calls.
I've been getting some good compliments. People have been saying, hey, this is good. I'm glad that you guys were able to do that. So, Richie, have you gotten anything? No?
I got one email from a lady. It wasn't positive.
So we'll leave it at that.
It's probably the one taking the shortcut, right?
Maybe so, yeah. I think it was some on the lines of, what idiot came up with that, so, but, you know, it's okay. I knew where that stuff.
And
Let
that's
me
one
know
of
the
the,
name and I can go visit them.
that's one of the new bearings they put in at the sewer plant on the racetrack. That's a new one there. That was the old one.
That was the
Okay, so go back to
16,000
the other one. So, do we know and do we have on the maintenance what's supposed to be happening with this?
Yes, we're greasing it every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
Yes.
So it's
We
on the
got a
list?
chart, we write it down,
Okay,
that's on the list, yeah.
okay.
Cost a lot of money to replace those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What's your maintenance one? What's the maintenance
Every
one?
2 weeks, we grease it every 2 weeks.
That's a moving
That's-
area, right?
Yeah, that was your 16,000 charge there.
That's-
Yeah. And then at the lift station, we had the relays go out, and they replaced all 3 of them. And they replaced that control box too on the lift station.
Explain that, is that our mess? What are all those connections up on the top there?
Go back.
Go back.
There's 4 of them. The blue connections on the top, they look like U-clamps. No, not the top. Go back to the picture of the pipes.
Oh.
There.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, what are those
Oh.
5 clamps there?
That is, the one on Benton and Lake Street.
So that's not our doing.
That was way back when.
Okay.
That was way long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
We replaced all that.
Okay,
We did it like that now.
there you go. That's beautiful.
He was waiting to hear
He's
something.
getting ready to shoot you out of it.
Go back,
Get the
Pete, go
big
back to
figures
the,
pointed.
go back to the other one more. Yeah, so, you know, the thing about this, when you look at a lot of these either fixes or put together, what we keep finding, it was either inappropriately done, or number 2, they were laid out in a location that wasn't appropriately prepared. With the clearance, everything to have the flexibility to be able to do that. So I know they've been putting a lot of attention to making sure that we do that with every single brand new one that we do.
You fix it once and you don't have to come back.
Yeah, that's why we redid the whole thing in that section.
Sir, thank you.
Yep, looks good.
And there's the bearings on that old one.
All right. Anything for Pete? So we just have those 2 leaks, that's it?
Yeah, just those 2.
Okay, and one of them here within the next week?
Maybe
the other
next
one?
week when they do the changeover, we'll
Take care
get
of
all
that
the
one.
stuff ready to go.
Okay,
We dug it up today, so it's ready to just cut it, put it in.
be able to take care of that one.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Anything, council?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Pete, appreciate it, please thank all the guys. All right, Richie?
Okay, so, basic information there, cost for service, nothing really, everything's pretty normal there. 215 traffic citations issued, no insurance, 43, still, that's the big, no motor vehicle registration, 55, and a lot of them probably didn't get their vehicle registered because they didn't have insurance. So, that's interesting this month, but hard to believe all the insurance laws, and you still got a lot of vehicles out there without insurance. And there's a pie chart that,
And the big chunk of blue is pretty much, it gives you the
that's a
opportunity
registration. Yeah, that's registration.
to
and-
see other issues, right?
Yes, sir. That's what you do is you get, that's your probable cause for your stop, and that's when you're finding your wanted people, a lot of times. Sometimes it's off speeding, but made a lot of arrests for, sees a lot of dope and stuff off of a registration sticker.
So now that we don't have inspections, the numbers are still,
Yeah, and before, so what you will see, I think, not quite, but you are gonna see more enforcement on, vehicles that are not safe, like tires that are bald, because before, there was somebody kind of checking that a little bit. Even a inspection station that was a little crooked would still, make sure you had the horn worked and, something. But, so we're gonna see how that plays out. Other states have had it with no inspection. When I started, we had the inspection sticker and the registration. So a lot of times people get one, they didn't get the other. And so, it's 2 things you could look at.
Different colors. Those
Different colors, you could see them, yeah. So, you know how that was. It was a good old, we call it the good old days, when you could see everything. Now before, then they had the little one on the license plate, remember? Little sticker, and everybody would go around at a special event somewhere and they'd use 10 snips. They'd snip the corner of your license plate off, then they'd get home and take that sticker off and put it on another vehicle. So that was.
They had 50 layers and it's easy to take them that way.
So yeah, now we're.
Not by experience, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. Statute of limitations expired, sir, you're okay. But anyway, but yes, it's true. Adultery, lots of arrests. I mean, dope, theft, dope, assault, dope, warrants, a little bit of drug paraphernalia, terroristic threats, DWI, warrants, a few more arrests, DWI, warrants, a lot of activity. And bad part of that is when you have all those cases, you know, the field works takes 3 or 4 hours maybe on a DWI, but putting everything together, making the videos and duplicate and triplicate for the prosecutors and then following up to all those DWIs, we went and got blood draws, so the officers got search warrants. So they got to get all the search warrant stuff together. They got to get the stuff from the hospital. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's what we do, try to keep the road safe. And again, you go to thefts. I mean, really, you had that pickup stolen from HEB.
Expensive brisket.
Yeah, it's those Wagyu briskets. So really, that's everything happened at the HEB parking lot. I mean, there you have it. Burglary, that Good Luck Mart, they got a slot machine down there. I guess some old boy might have lost a little too much, come back to even the score. Had a burglar vehicle at, I don't know where that was. In Burger King, we had a burglary of a building, which we actually got the confession on that. We're already working the case on it. What else we got down there? Identity theft, some forged checks. Over at the pawn shop, they cashed some checks. There were special events. Had a couple guys go to a free LiDAR instructor course at Lotus. Benton City Water Spring Fling, guys went out there. Dave and I were at the Police Chief Conference in Galveston. The Sheriff's Office had a school safety meeting. The state mandates 2 of those a year per county, so we have to go to the Atascosa and the Medina. Community outreach, Easter event for the church on Good Friday, Easter egg hunt. SFT update, DWI training at Hondo. Again, that was some free training we found. Reading the students, lockdown drills, escort. Is that all we had on that? Oh, hold on. How do I go back? Oh, the bottom there. Okay. Food trailer inspection and a lot of conversations with that data center. We're working with Medina County, who's going to have a fire code out there. And then they're working, but once they come in, they'll be under our fire code. So Matt's been really coordinating with them to minimize them having to duplicate things. Like, for example, Knoxbox for the access. I mean, they're not, right now, they can plan to do with our, because the time they open, they'll be in ours, so they want to use our Knoxboxes, not the kind of different things like that. Everything's going well. It's just big project, lots of things to deal with. Filed 6 cases with the county attorney's office, 1 case with the DA's office, none with Medina. This is a new one, assisting other law enforcement outside the city. So this varies a lot. This month, not much. Those were both 2 calls, traffic accidents on 35. Those are always going to be a lot of those, normally more, because when people call an accidents, we really don't know where they are on 35. I mean, they're anywhere between Natalia and Lucky Road. So a lot of times, everybody gets a call and you go out and then you find it, and sometimes it's 50 yards out of the city, sometimes it's 50 yards in the city. But I'll try to, that's something. And then also another thing I came up, Paula talking about open records requests she does and stuff. We do a lot of background checks, records requests, report requests by mail, and open records requests for a lot of things. So 23 of them, for example, last month. Give you an example. We get a lot of sheriff's departments in Florida, a lot of police departments in California. They hire a lot of military people, Air Force people, okay? So what these police departments do is they know if the guy was ever stationed in San Antonio, okay? They know if they go to San Antonio, they know they only get records from San Antonio, and they know there's all these suburbs. So with us being partially in Barrett County, we get caught into that, so we get those letters as well. Even though people may have never, they send them to all the suburbs, all law enforcement agencies, transit police, everybody, And so we end up with a lot of those, and some months we'll get 5 or 6 from, LAPD or Dallas, so it's so Danny handles most of those, so it's a lot of work. Sometimes not. We also have all the people that work at the like GEO, the detention centers, the contract detention centers. their people do all the backgrounds. They have to do the federal contractor investigators, and they come by and do all the backgrounds in person. And so a lot of that, it kind of goes unseen. So I wanted to kind of paint a little picture more of what's going on at times. Human resources. We had an hour and a half of overtime, and that's over 20. That's a 28-day period. So, and then we had 22.25 vacation hours, 16.75 sick, and 28.5 PL. If I have anything else on there. At the end of it, then I guess.
Richie, anything that is happening, so if you go back a couple slides,
Hold
I think.
on. Go ahead.
No, that one, that one, sorry.
Yes, hold on.
Go forward,
Go.
that one. So is that where you're gonna, anything happening like in Las Palomas, you would actually?
Yeah, so anytime we assist another law enforcement agency outside the city, and again, we'll tweak it as we figure out how the data is gonna come in. That's kind of where we're gonna try to give an idea. That's where we're gonna try to give an idea. Not that we're having an issue or not an issue, I'm just trying to get an idea of what's, kind of throw more information is better. We got the information, so it doesn't cost me nothing to put it in here. And at some point in time, somebody will find it useful. Even if we don't find it useful this month, we'll find it useful in 6 months. So that's kind of where we're.
But that's where you're shooting to include.
Yeah, that'll be anything outside the city. That'd be your, and then we'll break it down by, depending on how many it might be, years ago, Twin Lakes is where we went to a lot of times, assisted Medina County and Twin Lakes, but now they've got more officers, so we don't really go out there too much. We have the city part, but we're not required to, go out there as much. So that's where we'll, again, how it's gonna look once we get some more data and we kind of read it more. And then we'll also be adding active criminal investigations in here too, to kind of give you an idea of actually how many active criminal investigations we have at the end of the month or first of the month, how we're going to do that. Yeah, just throwing more out there, nothing really, and if any of y'all, of course you're new, but if you come up with anything you think, what about this? I mean, whatever y'all can find, if we got it, we'll put the data together, because that's what, a lot of stuff I just got from looking at other police departments, monthly reports, and trying to find stuff, and then I implement it in ours. Because we have all these going back, our monthly reports on the website go back to August of 1999. You can upload the first report I did in August of 1999. You can look at it right now off your tablet, So it's really good because there's a lot of historical data there.
Okay. Counsel, anything?
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Richie.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. Okay, it's gonna be time for a break. Austin, question for you.
Sure.
So is it okay if I cover the executive session and then we go into break and executive session at the same time, or do we need to keep them separate?
A break, how do you mean?
Yeah, in other words, I'll cover the information because we're all gonna go in the back for the executive session, but we can grab something to eat and then go back there, or do you wanna keep them separate?
Gotcha, if you wanna read all that out, and then announce a recess, you'll just have to come back and say the recess is over, we're not going to do executive session.
Okay,
At this
Then
time.
come back.
Yeah.
so I would
Just
still,
to mark the time.
so you gotta do this separate. But then if we're gonna do it separate, we'll just do the recess, and then we'll just do it that way, and then we come back and we just read it.
Okay.
I'll be able to do that. So council, let's go ahead and go into, it's 8 o'clock right now.
Well, I
Let's
mean,
go.
if your question is, can y'all eat during executive session? Yes. It
No
just wouldn't count as a
outside.
recess. if that's what you're
So
trying
we
to
can just place it, come back, do the reading, and then go back over it.
Yeah, however you want to do
Okay.
it. Yeah,
We'll just do
it's-
this, just do it how we don't do it.
Yeah, we'll just do the, okay. So it's 8 o'clock right now, 8 p.m. Let's go ahead and show that we're going into a break. And we'll take a short 10-minute break. Paula, we got stuff in the back? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and show. It is 8:15 right now. And we are back from break. Let's go ahead and continue on. Council, let's go ahead and move on to item number 12, executive session. City Council, City of Lytle may convene in executive session in accordance with the Texas Communities Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation of attorney, and Section 551.074, personal matters, to discuss and consider the following item. A, discussion and updated updated concerning easement acquisition and condemnation proceedings for the Railroad Street, McDonald Street, 12-inch main loop project. B, discussion and concern build versus consumption water usage. C, discussion concerning possible agreement with Nueces River Authority for the purchase of future water needs. And D, employment, evaluation, and reassignment duties, discipline or dismissal of public officer or employee finance director. And E, discussion concerning the pending litigation and civil citation filed with Atascosa County District Clerk. So if you can go ahead and show us going into executive session, it is 8:16 p.m. We'll go ahead and take it to the back office, and if you can go ahead and join us back. Are we good?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and show it is 9:35, Paula. We are back from executive session. No action taken. So we'll move on to item number 13, just to make sure we cover it. Discussion and possible action regarding matters discussed in executive session. No actions taken on that too. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to item number 14. This is informational items on here, and this is the opportunity for us to make announcements, pass information for the council to be aware of, things like that. So we'll go ahead and start with Mike over here. Anything? Matt?
No, sir.
Okay, Paula? Do we have an outreach coming up or anything?
No.
Not yet, okay.
The only thing I have, and we'll get additional correspondence, I'm meeting with the contractor tomorrow on 132, but next week they do plan to start the reconnection on 132, so that means turn people off, obviously, temporarily to do that. But I'll have some more info tomorrow, and then we'll get that to you, Richard, and all the residents.
I think they did a low water deal a few days ago, but they didn't tell nobody.
They did some pressure testing of the line that they're required to do. They did not tell anybody. We found out about it, and we made them obviously shift gears a little bit. And so, but next week they are going to try to actually make the reconnect everybody to the new line. So, yeah, we'll get more info.
Okay. AD, anything? Nothing? Okay. I don't think there's anybody out there, right?
No.
All right. Anything you want to pass on? Any information? We're happy to see you. Thank you for joining. And by the way, they did fix it. Look, your name. Look. Yeah, you see. They took care of it. So.
Thank you for adding that extra in.
That's good.
Coal mine on the 17th, which is this Saturday, they have market date. So anybody want to go out to, I guess they're going to have plants and whatever they sell.
Aren't you having the burger sale or something?
Burger sale at the same time.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
This Saturday.
So the
It's my
17th.
mom's birthday too, so God bless my mom.
It's our anniversary.
Really?
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Nothing like going over and buying stuff at market days with a burger. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, honey, here's a burger for our anniversary.
I got the other ones. Anything else? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Just kind of, the band went to Kalahari today. They left it, if I'm looking a little loopy today, I had to get up at 5 something to get down to school. So they had a good time. They should be back home. I haven't heard anything.
Should be coming right now, actually.
They were supposed to be home by 8:30, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The morning was going to walk over and get
Okay, good.
So, but everything's going well there.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
No,
Well,
no.
thanks for the update. They've been doing really good.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say something. I know she's not here, but I just want to say thanks to Lynette for serving for our city and assisting our residents. All the best as the next opportunity to serve. We appreciate your efforts over the last few years. Thanks to Paola for the Edwards Aquifer event. Really appreciate that. That turned out, I think, what was it, 1,000 plants?
It was 500 plants.
Well, 500, but it was 1,000 plants. I think it was 1,000, but they got 2. Yeah.
It was a set of 2.
got
500 give away 1,000.
And I think we only ended it with the three. So, yeah, so Lytle, and by the way, that was the San Antonio Edwards Aquifer coming over here and doing it here for the whole area. So they were very impressed, right? Yeah.
Put some nice little goodies in the bag.
Yeah, they did good. I wouldn't be surprised they want to come back in the future if they're doing something like that. They got a lot of promos. Teresa did a really good job. Reese did a real good job out there. And then Coach Tope actually showed up, made him our celebrity in attendance. So that worked out really good.
He made a video out there.
Oh, he did? Oh my goodness, now I gotta pay attention to that. Want to say thanks to David, Zach, Public Works for the cleanup day. That worked out really good. I think it was great. All four, I think you guys were full like 30 minutes before the pickup, the end of the pickup, right?
Yes.
So that worked out really good. I can just see that growing and growing. A lot of people were asking questions the day before. And I think if we keep doing the same thing where we have our normal pickup and then we have it that Saturday for stuff that didn't get picked up, I think that works out really good. I want to say thanks to the staff also for taking care of Wayne for his little going away. So I appreciate that. Thanks to CPS Energy and Chain Electric. I do want to let everybody know officially that the phase 2 of the closure of I-35 on the 18th of May has been canceled. That night, Chain Electric did an outstanding job. They were able to take care of more than what they needed to. And that basically made it to where they don't need to close I-35 anymore. So the 18th of May project has been taken off the books. They're still going to do some work on the frontage roads, just a little bit of work, but that should be pretty much taken care of. And then they'll reconnect into the new lines here within the next few weeks. But I also want to say thanks to PD. That night, they kept going by and checking up on everything, making sure everything was going good and letting us know if there was any changes or anything. So that was a very, very successful project. I will tell you that the lines did get backed up all the way to the rest area. Yeah. And that was only for 15 minutes. So imagine if they would have gone to 30 minutes. Yeah. So it was real quick, but they did a good job and took care of that. Okay, nothing on outreach, Paula, you said? We're good?
No,
okay.
not yet.
Okay. We got the boys playoffs. If you haven't heard, our boys for baseball, our area's champs are going regional. They start up on this Thursday against Orange Grove, so pretty cool. Continue to support them. We got Nate also going state bound for tennis this week. So I think the last time, let me go back. Baseball, the last time that we were able to we got to the area was in '94. So it's been a while. For tennis, it's been longer than that. I heard the '80s. And I heard a name, Joplin, Miss Joplin?
She was Swan.
Swan. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and apparently...
Baseball was regional final, semifinals, I think, in '94. That was my freshman year.
That was your freshman year? Okay. Yeah, but I heard...
Far downhill from there.
Yeah, it went.
After that, it was a good.
So it's been a while, so that's pretty cool. We'll keep you posted on that. I also had the fundraiser for Coal Mine, too, so thank you for taking care of that. I do want to say thanks to David and Richard for your continued service to our community. We really appreciate you all stepping up and committing, and it's not only you but the family, because it takes that much. I know AD's always here too, her commitment, making sure. Special thanks, Rana, for stepping up and helping us out for District 1. We're very fortunate to have you as part of the council, and I know Frank is looking down, and he's very happy, and he's proud of you for being able to do that. I know you're going to make great things being part of this great council that we actually have, and be able to take our city to the next level that goes along with that. Okay, any last minute information we want to share? None at all? All right, if we don't have any, do I have a motion for us to adjourn? It is 9:44.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Got a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second? I know there's no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you so much. Have a great evening. And from this point on, whenever we always prop the door open, so if you get here early, you're